I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is October 1st, Tuesday, 2024. Hope you had a good day today, first of the month. So, gotta watch yesterday's video so it makes sense. We were discussing first we mentioned, I mentioned this on the video on the 26th, which was last Thursday when we reversed here, that we would probably come for these lows here. We want to sell off at the end of the month, kind of leak over into the fourth quarter, which we are now, and then this low right here. As you can see here, I'm also discussing it yesterday. If in yesterday's video, you'll see that we just come back down here. I want to see it come wipe out most of this. And why do I stop here? Well, we got that low, we got that gap, and we have any push out artists right there. So this was a little bit too easy in my opinion right there. And we sure did do that. And then what do we do from here? Well, we want to buy up and we want to get to at least where it broke through. And that's exactly what we did. So we've accomplished all this so much. Beautiful fucking day, man. Anyways, let's hop into it here and try to make this simple, which it pretty much was. But let me go with the 15-minute here. So you can see that when we opened up here, when we pushed up hard, I was like, oh, when we pushed up hard yesterday, I was like, oh, well, that's gonna probably be the lower low and lower high, right? Remember this? I'm gonna squinch it out. So consolidation, continuation, retracement, or lower low, lower high. Said that was lower low and that was lower high, lower low. All right, so with that, how do they do it? Well, in this case, they built this liquidity, this little transition period, very common, on a Monday, and then boom, Tuesday comes and wipes it out, makes the higher the low of the week. We don't know which one that's going to turn into. It's starting to look like this is the high of the week, though. They came back that last 4 hour popped up. Here, let me open this up. Popped up and took out that liquidity, and then digged into that imbalance. But it's not really that important. What's important is that this was the lower high, right? So all this shit in between is bullshit. Follow me. I'm gonna try to make this video short, but there's a lot to talk about. So when we pushed up here, there's a lot of strength, right? So then what do? That's technically the high of the day. Plus we have that when we made that high at 3:45, right? Time, no, not exactly the time, but that 15-minute candle when it closed. We were also very equal with that level there, which was the Asia high of the beginning of the day of Sunday. So that right there shows you that, okay, well, we retrace back into this little imbalance, sitting on that. Now there's three gaps here. There's three gaps there, and then there's three gaps down here. So they're separate, okay? Totally separate areas. Don't let this all confuse you. I have to mark these because they don't transfer on the 1 minute. So it looks funky, but they're really just all, like right here, like it's just, I'm just re-highlighting the same gap. It just looks weird. Anyway, so we dip into that imbalance right there. We use that middle gap. You can see that, right? You can see how we use that middle gap or bounce right off of it, and then we raid the liquidity to the left, which would obviously be all of Monday's liquidity. Then we come all the way up, and then pretty much anybody who was like a last minute seller here just got wiped out, right? So they pushed it up here, and that's so you're only really getting like two drives in this case, 1, 2. Now this here, so it comes all the way back down, and we make equal lows here. So this is how the frame today for me. So we had equal lows here, and we had almost equal highs, but this is lower. This looks like a failed high. So when I'm here and I roll right into 9:30, I mean, I'm not even waiting for nothing else. I'm not even early. It's literally just 9:30. When that price is here, I have to ask myself the simple question is, do I see ourselves coming up, or do I see ourselves coming down? What's the model? The model is coming down, number one. Number two, besides the liquidity, I'm very close to this, right? And I'm already having order flow. Let me break in now. Let me get the 1 minute involved here for a second. So when you see here, you'll see that we pop up, we fail right there. All right, we fail right there. Let me just do this. We fail this here, right? And then we push down. Now look at the midnight level. That's the midnight level on my chart right here, right? See this orange right here. You see how You see how we come underneath it. We got the gap there, and then we tag it again and we break. That's a lower low now. Besides that, that's a lower low. So you're on the right side of the curve, right? The sell model is starting here, all right? Well, that's a model in itself too, but here, and also, let me just continue. So what do? Right there. This 915 candle is everything. This imbalance is everything. So right here, when you have the macro involved here between the 850 and the 910, this is a beautiful spot. What does it do? We also rated, to answer the continuation of that question about going down or not. We just see that gap right there between 828 and 829. We tap right into it. See that? Beautiful. We tap right into it and then we break down. So that right there, I already got order flow. I'm underneath the present gap as well, right? I have the equal lows there, and then I got everything to the bottom side. So that's pretty much it. And I'm looking still for a sell off because of the fact that I understand how the 15-year data looks like, and we should be dipping into the fourth quarter. So that being all said, it's bearish. I mean, we're going down. And sure enough, pops right into this candle. Beautiful. Fucking tags right in. And then this next candle, this 931, pops up a little bit above 50%, trying to wick out anybody who's, got a quick draw like myself. And then we shoot down. And then from there, it's over with, man. It's just over with, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I'm only going to show the buy because I mean, this is easy, man. This right here. I mean, I'm telling you days before. I'm telling you yesterday. This is exactly what we're looking for, and I said that when we pop up here, this would be like a lower high. So this didn't grab that high, right? And if it did, I would have still had the same buys. But so that if that confused you and you were looking to go up, then well, you have to understand the scenario here. Number one, number two, the way the end of the quarter looks like. So that being the case, beautiful, man. Just kept rolling right through. This candle right here, I'm gonna try to make this short, man. This candle pops up right above here, takes out that high, which at first I was like, looks a little suspect, but we had that gap right there, which was nice. So the gap in between 937 and 938, being very specific, that gap we do tap right into it, and then that was like, okay, cool. I don't want to see it go any higher. So I'm holding here. I'm holding. And now this is the purpose of the video. I wanted to really share with you like the 3 drive situation in this scenario. Because I understand if you keep trying to buy this, you're probably failing. The best answer I can give you is that you need to go up some time frames. You can't do this on a 1 minute. Can you? Yes, but you technically can't. Not when it's dropped like this. You're going to want to use a 5 or a 15 minute. So I'll explain that. Oh, fuck. You already got the 15 minute there. Let me go to a 5 minute. Then I'll show you the trade. So in this scenario, right? Like in this scenario, when you got it looking like this and you're coming down to these gaps, right? So to the left of the chart, I also have a projection, right? I have a projection here. So you pick your poison of where you want to get out and exit. But I'm talking about as far as trying to buy this. Well, number one, I know I'm blowing through the day before it's low. Right? We already took that out. We already blew through it. So what's next is the next day's, the previous day's low. But what's before that? Now we look back on the 15-minute chart or the 4-hour chart. We had those equal lows that I was talking about all this week and yes, last week. So I was talking about this, right? That's a must to hold to. Look to the right of where we are. That's this gap in the middle. Okay, so I know me personally, I'm holding till this gap. I'm holding till these lows for sure. This, I don't know if it's going to happen, but most likely. But this, I'm 100% running for these lows right here. Okay, so how does that look like on the right side? Well, you're looking for a couple drives down. So how could this been used? This could be one drive right here. All right, when I say that, it means this right here. Okay, so there's that. Then there's this push up back. So what qualifies a drive for me is that I need a nice retrace. I can't be having no bullshit retrace. And that's what you're going to see on the 1 minute where it's really choppy. But to refine that issue from the 1 minute and see this, well, the 15 minute, you can see here, we had just 2 drives. See, this is why the higher time frame is really good. Sometimes you won't see it on the 15 minute though, but on the 15 minute here, you'll see one and then one last raid, right? And then that was the low. That's how I caught this. I used a higher time frame. Now on the 5 minute, it'll look like this. So we had one, and then you had this one. You had this little pushback and retrace back. I ain't mad at you if you thought that was number 2. And then we had this down again, number 3. But where does it come? It comes right back to the same price action. So in my experience, especially with the bodies here, look at the bodies. So these are all wicks, but the bodies are still sitting in the vicinity of that previous retracement. So this could technically be drive 2. Okay. So it's not perfect, but it is what it is. Then you get 3 here. Boom, 3. You get these last down candles. You have the 15 minute. Look at the 15 minute. Look at this 11 o'clock. When it closes, it's sitting on the bottom. I want to see bodies respect, especially on the 15 minute. Sure enough, I got it. I mean, I can't make this up. Then the next candle, the 11:15 candle, it opens up. Everything underneath here is a wick. All right, so there's the 11:15 right here. We get the little last down candle, and then the next one pushes down. Boom, I get entered right here at, I think it was 821 and a half. But, and then, boom, pushes up, retraces back, comes back to the last line of defense. I'm going to show you something. You're going to be like, damn. But I just want to explain this real quick. So the 15 minute is real clean, but sometimes you don't get them. And sometimes it moves very quick. As you know, we did yesterday, these last days, we've been moving quick. But this is normal price action in general to me. So, and I'm going to go to a 1 minute real quick. And then you're going to be like, holy shit, right? You're going to be like, well, that's so exactly. See what I'm saying? So how do you maneuver through all that? And I just showed you. I literally just showed you. So you don't want to see. Look on the 15 minute. You can't even see this little price action right here. You can't even see it. So we got this imbalance right here. That's 947. I'm sorry, 947. I got it dragged out all the way until we take it back out, which is that little low right there. And then so while we're coming down, I'm not in a rush, right? I want to take out the previous this is last week's low too, by the way. This is also an important level because it's last week's low. So I'm definitely holding for that, number 1. So when you see this, you don't see it on the 15 minute. When this price action right here, you don't see it on the 15 minute either. So it's not necessary. It's not that important. So with that being mentioned right now, if I looked on this 1 minute, and once we broke through that liquidity, now we can look at 3 drives. So you could say, well, some will say this is just one right here, and then this is number 2 right here, but that retracement's deep. Or you could say this is all 1, and then this is all 2, the last second drive, right? So pick your poison. But that's a little bit of explanation of that. So what do? The order flow is still holding though, right? So we come in, and when it bumps and takes out that liquidity, which is that high, that 949, it dips down. Well, that's a good sign we're still coming down because they just wiped liquidity. It wasn't, underneath and kept, order flow, and, then it would be like, okay, well, they might reverse, right? But here, again, same thing. Look at this 1009, right? So this 1009 imbalance, you got it dragged out. We pop right into it. You know what I'm saying? Like very, very nicely. And then we get a push down here to this gap. Now, here's where it gets tricky. So I'm already out of the trade right here. Okay, because we just dipped underneath this liquidity for the sell I'm talking about. The buy, when the buy happened here, I waited for this to come down to this gap right here. Because number 1, I also have this low. Now, the way I treat this was a little tough. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. What I'm trying to say is that you have a better understanding. This price gets to right here, which is 50% of the gap. And I'm like, oh, this might be a good spot. And they might dangle that carrot, and they might whip it right back. Where would just so you know, if I'm buying, what am I doing here? We got dump, then pump. Where's my pump? I got my dump. Where's my pump at? That's not a pump, right? But So where's my pump at? Okay, so with that being said, and why would I look for a pump? Because we know breakout traders are gonna push sell when it comes below this low of yesterday's low, right? That's why I've got it highlighted with that little green thing right there. So what do? So we come down in here, and then this price breaks above, it goes above, and then it wicks right back into that little wick. Let me blow this up so you can see what I'm talking about. Right there. See this last down candle, this 1031. So now the tip, also it's also 9:30 to 10:30, the range of the day, of the opening range. Yes, it can be to 10 o'clock, but it also is to 10:30. So some people use it differently. The 10:30 is sometimes a very nice reversal. So I have that going for myself. I thought they're gonna dangle this carrot, which was not take out that low, and then I'm also sitting at 50% of this gap in the background. So this 1033 wicks comes back and wicks right into that wick. All right, so I'm like, oh, perfect, and then it reacted. I was in, so I took this trade here for the buy, right? And then sure enough, we come up, right? And then I'm using this. I want to see this 1026. I want to see it, this bearish imbalance. I want to see it hold as bullish. So what does it do? It's playing around. Okay, I got a nice little bullish imbalance too, which is 1041. And I'm like, beautiful. We're in the money. I was already great money too. And then it went underneath. This was big red flag number one that this wasn't going to pan out. So then what does it do? It comes back down. I see this big ass wick shoot up and then close here. Small bodies, then it rolled over. I was like, it's over with. So I lost, obviously. But what was the goal here? The goal was to come right back up to here. Look to the left of the chart. Why am I showing here? Because of the fucking low of Monday. And I know that we're gonna come back up here and we're gonna retest that area for buyer's remorse. So I'm riding that bitch up. So guess what? It fails. Comes back down. Comes back down. Now, this is in play here. This, let me show you the trade. I'm going to show you only this one. So here, you can see this imbalance right here. I got that right there. And then I have these two candles here. These two 15-minute candles. Right now, this is the 15-minute. The last 15-minute. This is the 11:30. This, which is about to push up. I think it was 11:30. Yeah, no. 11:15. Yeah, this is the 11:15 next 15-minute candle, right? I thought it was 11:15. Yes. Okay, so 11:15, right? So here, right there, when we tag this low right here, I'm a little impatient. It pops up, and I do take this trade. I mean, I scalp this thing right here, right? But I do understand that the next fucking 15-minute candle, which is the 11:15, is going to open up. So what did it do? It opened up. I was hoping for an immediate, like, quick tweezer bottom, is what we call it, and then just shoot the hell off. Okay, so what did it do? It came down 2 candles. When it came down 2 candles, well, by the way, I'm also at the -3 to 4, the 3.5 to 4 extension. So I'm ready to buy, right? But here, the wick, see this wick right here? That wick right there? The wick that pushed down and then it pushed up? That's how I got in here. Because I'm trying to buy the wick of the 11:15 minute candle, 15-minute candle, right? That makes sense, right? So what does it do? It goes above. It goes above this down candle. And then we shoot down with this next down candle. We come all the way. And I literally get filled on the dime. But this was stretched out. And I literally caught it as it broke this previous 2 candles. I know this looks crazy. Right there. I'm talking about right here. Right? So we take out the 11:19 and the 11:20 candle. This dips. I get filled beautifully. I mean, while it's bold facing down. All right. Can't get any more clear than that. And the stop loss is below the low of that 11:17 candle. But I understand that this is a wick. I understand that I'm involved in the 15-minute wick, right? So beautiful, man. And then I end up, so guess what? Now this is where gets juicy. So I put the stop loss right here. You can see it. 19,840 and 3/4. Why do I put it there? I'm going to let you pause and think about that for a second. Why do I put the stop loss right here? I'm position trading this. I'm not scalping. This is a position trade, not for a major swinger or anything. But I used to be trained and I used to trade as a higher time frame retail trader where we would have like 50 to 100 point stop losses. So we would be catching the 4 hour. We would be trading the 4. We wouldn't even be looking at a 1 minute. We never even understood the 1 minute. Just so you understand where I come from as far as my background goes. We used to catch, very higher time frame entries, and our stop losses used to be massive. I would never do that again anymore. I don't need to. Like, I had buddies that would take this trade and then have 100-point stop losses from right here. I don't need to do that. I need to know right away if I'm wrong. But the point of what I'm telling you is that what was the point? The reason why I let it come up here and came all the way back, right? That's what you're thinking. How could you do that? Now, yes, that is stupid, right? At the same time, but again, I know how to position trade. So how does a position trade look like when I'm putting my stop loss somewhere? Well, it can't go any lower than here, which is 840 and 3/4. Why do I put it here? Because there's a fucking gap right in between. You can't even see it on this, actually. I'm gonna have to do this. You'll start to see it now. See that? So what was the stop loss? 840 and 3/4. 840 and 3/4. 840 and 3/4. Right there. It's already red. Perfect. So why do I put the stop loss there? Well, is because number one, I got these two last down candles. The next reason is I got these next two down candles. But what's in this vicinity here, I also have that gap. There's literally no wick that mitigated that area or balanced that area. So when it's coming down, let me kind of go into it now real quick. So when it's coming down, first we're pushing up, right? We took out that high, but then we didn't take out that high. So then it retraces back, gets into this imbalance right here, this 1033, then pushes up hard. Pushes up hard where? It goes right into this liquidity right here, this imbalance, and then we're at the top of that middle gap, right? So anybody who's like, breakout artists right here, they kind of retested that. But it doesn't keep going here. This is why I hold on. I know I'm coming up here. I know I'm coming up here. But it doesn't. It fails. So it fails. And for a second, I was like, oh, shit. Maybe we're going to make another lower low. But many times, I'm always telling myself, you should have just held what you believed in. So all the times that I've said, where's my pump? We just dumped. So then in this case, I would say, where's my pump? Where's my pump? Now, this was nice. Don't get me wrong. This was beautiful. This was already like I don't know, like 12,000 right here. All right. And I was like, bro, just take it. I was stubborn as hell. And I wanted to position this anyway. So that's what I did. And I held it to up here. So it is what it is. But the understanding is that, and I would have got back in if I got stopped out. Just so you know, I would have got back in. And I would have, and then I would, even if it took this low, I would have been maybe thinking twice. But my little secret weapon of also knowing where price is at is this 4 hour imbalance. Bet you don't got this on your chart. Oh, come on. This is how these videos get long. Come on already, bro. Okay, we'll just do that. So I understand. I don't have that dragged out. I don't need to. But this is why I understand this a very, 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 because when this dipped in here to this 4 hour imbalance that's sitting on the chart, this is from, just so you know, September 18th. This is the Asia candle that pushed up, the 4 hour candle. That right there, once we go below that, we have now mitigated the whole, we've balanced that whole imbalance. So if you look to the right now, it'll look a little ugly probably, but you can see us pretty much respecting that area here. So now I'm gonna delete this back. But the reason why I'm mentioning that is because that's why I have my stop loss here as you see it. Why? Because there's a gap in between this candle, this 1125 and this 1126 plus I have these two down candles. So I wanted to also, I was going to even circle it, but because I wanted to, there really wasn't a wick at the time when you stretched it out. There really wasn't a wick, but I mean, you know, now that I'm stretching it out, you can kind of see one. But the gap is what's more important. And then take a look. This is why I made a video yesterday about this. What is the open here? Look up here, What's the open of this candle? The open of this candle is 844 and a half. What's the low of this candle right here? The low of the candle is 844 and a half. That's the exact same level. All right. And this is why I said in a video, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I said how I was catching these limit trades in these gaps. I put the limit order a tick above or two above the gap. If you would have put your shit right in here, you would have caught it. So all I'm trying to tell you is that when the price was here, I knew what it was doing. All right, perfect. Look at all the wicks staying inside and that also there's a little miniature gap in the background. Look how we're stopping right there. All right, so then, all right, let me get back to this. So we pushed up here, we retraced back. Fuck me, man. That's why these things are long, bro. I'm tired of this. 1213, bearish imbalance, holding price, pushes down, comes back up, comes back down, comes all the way to tag. This is why I was using this area. Now, if I had this stop loss sitting here, I'd be asked out, right? But I knew not to. I knew to put it right here. Okay, I knew to put it right there. All right, this is experience, so it is what it is. And then you have that imbalance in there. I mean, I can highlight it, but I mean, it's obvious. All right, bam. So that's holding in there as well. Boom, they tapped right in that pitch. So anyways, we first tapped this though, right here. We first tapped this and we pushed all the way back up, acting all tough, but still stuck in here. It wasn't using it as support. Talking about this imbalance right there. It didn't use it as support, so it pushed all the way back down. Took out that liquidity, left these guys alone. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. And then sure enough, we just held, accumulated again, and then took off. And then also this last down candle, you could say we used that too because we busted through it. I'm gonna highlight it just for this moment, just for this scenario, just so you can see it. All right, boom. So this up candle right here, this 1111. Oh, what a nice number. So we push down, we bust through it, and then we come back. It's using it as support, just a refined area. It's just on a 1 minute. Anyways, what do? We get to this, then we get to this bullish imbalance here. Bam, right here, bullish imbalance. This 1331, this 131, which is now the lunchtime. It's the PM session. Big push. Retrace right back into it. Use this bearish imbalance right here on 1108. I'm holding that as support. Dragged it all the way through. I want to see them overlap. Talk about that all the time. 50% of you got 50% of the actual imbalance, and then when you overlay this, bam, top 50% of that. X marks the spot. Pushes up for a second. Push up for a second leg. Retrace back right into that imbalance. Can't miss that. The 143 goes straight to my target, baby. Straight to it. No retracements. Then when it gets up here, what does it do? Well, yeah, it took out that high right there, which is obvious. But you know, now we're playing in the. Oh, there's no wick on that, huh? You see this 15-minute candle, this 945. There's no wick on there. Take note of that. But anyway, I mean, I'm sure we're coming for it. And but here's the thing: if I do the range, very simply, why am I also buying this pump? Because we're coming back to 50% of the actual day. I decided to have nuts and hold for it today, though. All right, because it was very clear that we had the potential of doing that. So you know, it's very common, basic shit here. So that's that. And then uh yeah, back to that trade. As you can see, I mean, and I got my stop loss right there, bro. I swear to God, I was having lunch. I was like, "Fuck it, let it take me." But I know we going. This is a double bottom right here. I'm like, I know we going. Let's go. You know, faith. Gotta have faith. And then I got an alert right here. It goes off. I'm literally screenshotting it while we're going through the alarm. The alarm just kicks on, and then we're sitting here about to tag my target. So, can't get any more clear than that. Let's see. So now where do we go from here? Oh, also one last thing I want to say about this whole trading day here is that the buy, the reason why I do have this buy right here is because we have a higher low here with Dow. So we have a divergence here, and I see that very clear. We got lower lows here. That's how I was able to also get that bottom so well like that. Yes, I took a couple losses though, but I'm not fucking worried about it. As you see, the logic is what matters here. Everything else is just part of doing business and just it's call it to the tax man. I mean, what I mean? What are you gonna do? But so now, well, so that was the buy there. The sell here, I didn't. Well, I didn't mark that. I didn't need to. I was so fucking excited. There's also right there. So we had higher highs here at that 9:30, and then we had lower highs here. So that's also. But that sell was like, I mean, that was just blindly easy. I'm not even gonna go through it, man. That was just so easy. I mean, it was just so easy. If you were watching price, it just, so that was a given. But here, I'm glad I explained this. I won't be doing this anymore. I'm not going through the detail. These videos are way too long. I get tired. I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to be doing things a little bit different from here on out. But I hope this is helping. And I really wanted to explain this. So what do we got right now? Well, we didn't take out those lows. And we had lower lows here, lower lows here. So another thing here was how we pushed up so nicely was that we had I'm just gonna do it like that. I know these colors are not supposed to be like this. Let me just do this while we're talking. Sometimes I'm in a rush. I don't care about what the shit looks like. So we had divergence there. Not divergence. Yes, it was a higher low though. So don't look at this is lower lows here with Nas and S&P. This is a higher low with Dow. Okay. And then we had another higher low there. Now, but it does show me it could be resistant. It could be a nice little liquidity run. So we're gonna see where do we go from here. But when we came up here, right? When we came up here and we had lower highs here with S&P and Nas, we had higher highs here. So this is an exit strategy as well, right? This is also what I was doing too. But where do we go from here? Well, this is a nice bearish imbalance. And they left those highs though. So very suspect. Let me go to, dollar was, I was mentioning yesterday that we should get a body close here. Oh, another thing, that's the other thing I wanted to mention is we don't have, if you look at the 4 hour, you can see that we don't have a body here. See this? See these gaps right here? This is this week's gap. So the price, I know that they want to keep it lower right now. Like, yes, they came up here, but they want to close below here, so now they can get a body with this. So this would have been a nice sell, but I was literally like fucking mentally done like after this. So I was, after doing all this, dealing with all this, I left it alone. This would have been a nice sell though. Why? Because I know that they want to keep, that's why I was freaking out a little bit about targeting here, but I did know that they want to come up here and also get back into that gap, right? So that said, I expect the price to be lower. This is looking a little heavy though. So maybe we'll get another, is the Tuesday the low of the week? Or we have obviously non-farm payroll this week. So to be honest with you, I really am not interested the rest of this week after tomorrow. I'm not. I mean, until about lunchtime, I'm not playing with these people. So will there probably be trades? Yes, but they're gonna have to show their hand. I can't really project what I think anymore at this point. But if I was to keep it simple, real quick before I even do that, as you see, all right, so we're rejecting here. We look a little heavy. This is YM. Looks like they built that liquidity. They want to sweep that. Looks like they're going to come for here, to this gap here. So non-farm can do a lot, but I expect non-farm to push it down first, but then we should be buying back up. So you got to watch these videos. But so we came down here, we did this job, we pushed back up. Now what we could do is, well, this was exaggerating a little bit here, but in the beginning is really good. But we could bounce back up and then maybe go one more leg real quickly before we start buying up for the fourth quarter, assuming it is a normal fourth quarter. I mean, that's another thing too, right? So, what I wanted to mention here. So, yeah, that's a nice little pocket for them to come back down. You're gonna need to see that turn bullish, hold that support, but with NFP, anything's possible. So, after mentioning all that, I don't know. I mean, some reason I would like to say that they come down in here. Oh, another reason here, which was a buying area, which was the low of this candle, this weekly candle. Look at the open here. Look at how we're coming in, and we had a nice bullish imbalance right there. See that? See on the weekly here, we have a bullish imbalance right there. I'm not going to highlight it, but we also have that down candle. This is a very nice area to buy from as well. See that? So in general cases, I would like to see it would eventually just push up and then kind of like speaker out, like, or kind of like push up, push back down, not break any lows, but then just kind of mosey on its way up with this quarter. So I think I'm now talking too much, and I think I've said all I need to say. This is going to be interesting. And then if you look at the 4 hour, the 4 hour is now making its way down to the oversold. So do we get a couple drives, or is this enough for strength to push up? So we're kind of reaching the end there. We'll see how this turns out. But I'm out of the market, and I don't know what else I could say. I mean, there's nothing else I can really say here. So we just do this. It's relative. I would say, yeah. I mean, if we're pushing up, I mean, these are your extensions up, but coming right back to that top liquidity right there. But we got our nice retracement now. I mean, there's no question. Is this retracement done coming back or not? Is the question. Do we get another leg down or not? If it isn't, then this is the end of the road for the retracement, and then we're expecting buying up. I mean, that's what it is. You guys take care and God bless.